I'm Kristen. I manage Hub 101, which is a co-working space and startup incubator in Westlake Village. We're managed under Cal Lutheran University. We have launched this series called This Week at Hub 101 about 5 weeks ago. Rahul is our fifth speaker and facilitator. And there's a series of weekly events for 1 hour that are supposed to be super interactive. And Rahul, I will hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. My name's Rahul. I have a marketing agency called Custom Creatives. I also coach a lot of other marketing agencies as well, and local businesses for that matter, on like how to generate traffic, make offers, do sales. But what I want to kind of focus on is like content, and how we kind of position ourselves as the authority to our local marketplace, our niche, and kind of demonstrate our expertise. And sorry if you see the sun in my eyes here on the face. It's because I have an outdoor office and I didn't take in consideration the time change, so it's moving with me. So my desk will be moving tomorrow. But anyways, I kind of want to go through and make this like Kristen said, like highly interactive, kind of understand like your businesses. If you guys can drop in the chat like what you do, and if it's like I'm a realtor, if there's a specialty of what type of real estate or neighborhood you specialize in, or if you're an insurance agent or whatever it is you do, that'll be helpful so we can kind of bring up live examples here. But I want to kind of go over like how I use like just public platforms that are totally for free, like Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, to kind of distribute my message. And I kind of look at those platforms as like a free broadcast station. So I get to have like my name on all these different TV channels, and I get to say whatever I want. I get to impact whoever I feel like. I get to attract whatever I feel like too. So I do that through content. And what we've done is when we demonstrate what we do, how we solve other people's pains, problems, and put them in a benefit place and an environment before they met us, now we can solve something for them. It demonstrates authority. So people want to know, like, and trust you. There's no better way than kind of letting them meet you before they actually physically meet you. Because when they do meet you and they like your content, then they're going to already be possible buyers of whatever it is you offer, or whatever that outcome or goal is. Even if it's a 501c3, it could be donations. The more they're aware of what you do and how you help, the more they're available to kind of donate more money. So that's going to be the context of this. If there's anyone that wants to unmute and introduce themselves and tell me what you do, maybe I can focus on you too. Awesome. All right, so now I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to kind of use you as the example here. So this is what was already shared. Now, as we're talking to, it sounds like your audience is going to be twofold: students and hiring managers. Okay, so like as we go through the how-to, the tools, the stories, the Q&A, the case studies, mistakes, and the rants, don't think of these as the rules and the laws. These are just to get your brain thinking of topics that can actually lead into how we can actually attract or touch on a problem that our ideal customer needs to solve. So how to actually get a job if you're skilled in engineering but are having trouble after college. How to interview to get your next job if you're looking to enter the engineering field. How to pivot from one engineering career to another, from mechanical to electrical. So you can kind of use this as the matrix. Now, you probably know this like in the back of your head, right? You probably know, how do I do that? Oh, well, that's easy. Well, if you put it on video, like we're doing a video now, and just recorded it, published it on YouTube, took that same exact video, published it on LinkedIn, took that same video and published it on Facebook, maybe created a Facebook group, one piece of content now has all these 5, 6 different audiences. And all we did was copy and paste and make one simple video on a problem that people are going to be needing to solve for. Now you have started your journey of authority. Now, instead of people asking you and every single time, hey, can we hop on a call on how I can get a job in engineering? You're like, yeah, no problem. You can say, check out my video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, when they subscribe to it, guess what they're going to do? Video 1 was cool. Let me go to video 2, video 3, video 4. Okay, so see how that can happen? Like almost like when you're watching news or television, your favorite show, what are they doing? It's video. Look at SportsCenter, your favorite sportscaster, your favorite news anchor. All they're doing is video. They have a bigger platform than you. But today we've been given an equal opportunity. Like look at the YouTubers. Not saying that we're going to be YouTubers like Jake Paul or Logan Paul or whatever Pauls there are out there. But the whole point is we can be that influencer to that small group of people so that we're more influential. And when they get to us, then they have a faster decision-making process because they already know, like, and trust us. Because if I talk to a complete stranger and I was offering my services, the first questions that are probably going to be running through their mind is, tell me about yourself and what you do and what do you charge? I don't want to answer those two questions because you're the one that reached out to me, number one. But number two is I can now deliver content before they even have those questions. So before they actually reach out to me, they already know those answers. And now they can say, hey, Rahul, I saw your videos, like, good content, by the way. I'm thinking about doing some marketing and I wanted to see if you can help me. Now we have a different conversation started. Yeah, and by the way, like, you're doing really good right now and you're doing video. So surprise, surprise, you're already a natural. And the best part about this for everybody here, and this is somebody, like, I didn't like to do video. If you look back, my first video, it was like really, really bad looking back. But the most important part is I started and I can only get better every day. And one of my friends gave me a funny way to look at it. He's like, just do your first video. And he's like, just suck less every time. I'm like, okay, I'll just be better every time. But another friend of mine who gave me the confidence or the courage to do it, the number one, he gave me a bribe. That he's like, I'll give you a video training manual if you do a 60-second video about saying, why do you do what you do? And the advice he gave me, he said, guess what your next best video is? And the answer is the next one you do. Your best video is your next video. So we're always going to get better every day. And we can look back and have fun at our first journey. But the point being is we're in a socially driven world right now. There's more options than ever. There's more freelancers than ever. The entrepreneurship game is only going to grow because of this pandemic. People are working from home, and if they're working for another company, guess what? Surprise, surprise, they got a side hustle and the boss don't know it. So entrepreneurship is going to be on the rise, and the way we're going to stand out most likely is through broadcasting our content through free channels, because what's going to be the alternative, to my opinion, is going to be other people are just going to get that business because they're doing content to indoctrinate their target audience to trust them first, right? So that's kind of like why, like, a Logan Paul has built such an audience. He created an entertaining brand and he broadcasted it to an audience that wants to consume that entertainment. And now he's built a business that can brand people. Now, when it goes to the opposite, boring industries are the best ones because you don't have to be entertaining. You could talk very technical because your audience could be technical. So you don't have to be a whole new human. That's not the point. The whole point is just being you. Like, you don't have to get a weird voice when you're on video, because I did when I first started. I was like, I got to act now. I'm like, hey, my name is Rahul, and this is what I do. And I'm like, whoa, that sounds so weird. But I'm like, hey, it's Rahul Custom Creatives. I'm going to walk you through in this video exactly what I do. And if this is something you're interested in, then you can always find the link in the comments. Wherever you're watching this, there's access to me. But first, I want to show you how I can help your life and your business. And then I'll walk them through the process. So I just use my own self-being because it's easier to be ourselves, because we're not actors with scripts. We're just us with topics on top of our head that if we just do it on video, because we're already going to say it at the dinner table, we're already going to say it at every meeting we have, we already know exactly what to say. Just use that same context, that same tonality, that same flow. Just do it on a camera. That the best part is, if you record it and you don't like it, there's that delete button option too. You don't have to publicize everything. There's no rule on that. You can just practice on your own and just publish. So that's kind of my recommendation around content. Is that it's just because, like, people believe videos of me more than my time. And the best part is I just scaled my life. I can send that one video to 7,000 people in the click of one email. I can actually pay Facebook, I don't know, $100 in a month and get 10,000 people to watch that one video. But if I tried to actually replicate myself 10,000 views, I'd have to have 10,000 conversations, which is pretty energy draining. So I can be in two places at once. But when I do video, people have a tendency to be like, hey, I like that style. I actually believe it. But when they get me and I have to say that same thing, they may doubt it. But when they see that video content first, it's like, oh, that makes sense. I get it. That was pretty cool the way it was delivered. It was different, unique spin. Let me see if there's something else. And then boom, boom, and boom. Like, now you can actually attract more audiences, a bigger following that lead back to your goal, which is going to be more engineering students. more people donating, or more partnerships, or whatever that audience is. Same thing can happen with jewelry. Like, have you ever like when I buy clothing? Sorry, I'm gonna keep moving as the sun changes. But the like when I'm buying like t-shirts, even like I have a hard time buying t-shirts because I don't want to go to the mall, but I want to buy it online. But it's a brand that I've never actually bought. But I've noticed that a lot of the smarter e-commerce brands have a video of somebody like wearing the shirt, and then they're like walking like a human, and they're kind of like showing you how the arms fit. And I'm like, now I can actually buy that, because I would have probably put it in my shopping cart, and I would have just been like, you know what, I'll just do that later. But now I'm like, oh shit, I got the video. I can actually feel it like on my own body by watching that video. And now I just bought 6 shirts from somebody I don't even know who they are. Mm-hmm. Whereas they would have got 0. And now if the shirt fits, guess what? I know that I want a medium. I can just buy it without even like watching the video anymore. Now I can be a repeat purchaser. And Kristen, I think you were jumping on to say
something.
No,
I just had a couple questions because video content is so powerful. And so I was in the chat, just put a couple questions, which are, what length of video do you recommend as a sweet spot? And then how often should entrepreneurs be posting video content on social?
Okay, good questions. If you're just starting out, start with 1. The rule on how frequent you should do it is just stay consistent. If you do it once a week, then set the frequency and discipline to do once a week. If you want to do once a day, do once a day. If you want to do once an hour, no problem. Because don't make assumptions for other people that they're going to be like, oh man, they're going to get annoyed. No, don't make assumptions on behalf of somebody else. That's your own belief system. Because if you ask Gary Vaynerchuk, who's the content king, his whole goal is, I'm going to publish 60 pieces every day. But he's already at that stage where he has a team to help him. So wherever you are in your stage, I would say start with 1 if you've never done it, and then just let it out there, because you'd be very, very surprised. Your self-conscious and your self-doubt is just that. It's yourself. When you do a video and saying, here's why I do what I do, the hardest video to talk about is why I do what I do, but that's the story people want to hear the most. It's vulnerable. It feels weird. I do this because I want to make impact. I do this because I want to make a lot of money and impact. There's so many different ways of our whys. Our whys are just ours. But when you publish that, you're now going to be like, oh, my high school friends didn't know I did this. Oh my God, I thought they did. My college professors like, oh shoot, I need that service too. And then people now start to cheer you on. And you're like, damn, I didn't know that was going to happen. And that's really what happens. You surprise yourself because people actually support your cause. And then ultimately people can actually support you and buy from you too, if you sell something. So the frequency is up to you. Be consistent, but start with 1 if you've never done it. And the why I do what I do is probably going to be your best story.
And then Fabiola has a question, length of video.
Length of time. Okay, so this is a good one. So we're going to go platform by platform. If we're doing like Facebook stories, it's going to cut you off around 25 seconds. So when I do a story, I'm just going to simulate one right now. Okay. So I'm going to hold the button down, or I'm going to do it on my phone, and I can see the countdown clock. So I'm gonna be like, hey guys, it's Rahul. I'm just doing a challenge with these entrepreneurs. We're gonna be rocking out our content calendars. Save it. Now, when we're doing these content calendars, we're gonna be going over our matrix. Our matrix is sweet. If you don't have the matrix, I'll give it to you totally for free. Stop. Now, the outcome I want people to do their why video. By the end of this, I hope people will be able to say why I do what I do just to their camera. If they don't like it, they delete it. Stop. Now, if you miss this video and you miss this challenge, don't worry. I got a replay. DM me if you want it. I'll see you on this challenge. So done. So now I just did 15, 15, 15. It's on my stories. So that's how quick that can happen. Now, as far as like, if you're doing a webinar, you have to know your audience because like attention spans have gone down. So if you have something that people really want to learn, length is no matter, because I've been on 4-hour webinars before and I'm okay being on it because there's so much value that I want to learn. But I've also, if I'm doing a webinar, it can be long. I would say 45 to an hour is like a good rule of thumb if you're doing a live webinar or a recorded webinar. Now, if you're doing like a video sales letter, which is a form of that webinar, video sales letter just simply means before you book a call with my organization, I want you to watch this information to make sure you're actually inquiring with the right company. So I might make that anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes at most, because it's just a teaser saying like, if you're a real estate agent, hey, realtors, if I can actually show you a system that can predictably get you 30 leads every single month booked on your calendar or at your office, would you even be interested? Hi, my name's Rahul. I used to be work at realtor.com, and now I've built this system called the Real Estate Rainmaker that does just that. And then I can walk them through the system and saying, if you're interested, click the button below. While you're at it, watch the case studies, make sure you're the right fit. And if it's something you're interested in growing, I'll be happy to talk to you with a 15-minute call. And if it makes sense, we'll get on a longer call and see if we can do business. So you can kind of have a short little like pitch, if you will, for a filtering system. So now when it comes to, let's say, like if I'm trying to do like, I don't know, a short like how-to video, like right here, like how to do a video on your phone, I'm going to try to make that as quick as possible. My goal is going to be 60 seconds if I'm just teaching them how to do it on their iPhone. If I need to use 2 minutes, I'm going to use 2 minutes, because the attention span is so short. Because if I hook them with that 2-minute video and they like it, they're going to be willing to invest their time longer. Because sometimes people say like, oh, geez, that's 32 minutes. Like, dang, like maybe I'll just watch that a little bit later. But if it's only 2 minutes, they're like, oh, cool. If I like the 2 minutes, I can invest the 32 later because now I like that person. So like, I guess to answer that question, it just means how you're using the video. If you're trying to gain authority on Facebook, I would go with like the 2-minute videos on your profiles. If you're going to be doing a webinar, 45 to 60 minutes to pitch your product, your solution, make the sale or book the call at the end. If it's somebody who's going to be watching the video to make a sales call, 5 to 7 minutes would be appropriate for that video sales letter. So I know I'm going a little bit fast, and my goal is not to confuse, because there's so many different ways we're going to be using the content that I want to make sure that if you guys have questions on what you do and how you're going to use it, I can tell you that answer more precisely. Okay, got it. The 2-minute videos I would do is on each individual product. I think every product should have a video of how, like, with like the feeling people will have by using it. So if like the Caracal rug, if the maker of this, you can give them a video tip of how to actually sell your product more effectively, have them do their own video of how it's being used, and then the other person watching it can envision how they're going to use it. So if that rug is for like family or picnics or the beach, maybe lay it on the beach and have a family there, and just no sound is necessary. Just a basic iPhone video, totally fine to do. And that can just be 30 seconds. And it could be somebody rolling it up. It could be somebody rolling it out. It could be the family sitting on it. It could be somebody cleaning it, and just common what people may be thinking about buying that rug. Like, what if I spill something on it? Something gets spilled, wipe it all off. Can my family sit on it? Cool. Now we got community and time with family. So whatever that goal of that buyer is of that product, that's kind of how I would do that really simple video, and literally do it on the phone. That's how easy it is. I have the most fancy equipment if I go in my house, and even this fancy microphone, but I end up using just my iPhone on everything. It's just in my pocket, so I can do content on the fly. Now, as far as to get more opt-ins, I mean, like you have to do an ethical bribe. Of like maybe something of like, check out how, like, let me think out here out loud, because number one, it could be a coupon, like where people will opt in, where it's like, hey, get 20% off your first purchase, and they enter their email, so you build your database. Because if you look at huge brands like Nordstrom's, or even I was looking for hats the other day because I wear a hat almost every day, and it was a website called lids.com, is bribing me to enter my email so they can own my data and email me whenever they feel like, as long as I don't opt out, with a 20% off coupon and then free shipping. So then I'm like, all right, I'll take it. So then I bought a bunch of stuff. It was because I would have honestly probably left if I didn't get the 20% off. I'm not gonna lie. But so they win and I win, and now I'm probably gonna buy more hats as life goes on because of that bribe. So that's one way to do it, is a free shipping, a 20% off your first purchase, or a gift, like a custom gift with any purchase over $100. It costs you $1 to $5 to produce, whether it's a little bag with your own brand on it. So then when they go like grocery shopping or to the beach, they always have your logo where they're promoting you to bribe people ethically, in exchange. You get this, I get that type thing. And if this is Shopify, I'm sure there's some sort of like pop-up builder or the little bar that you can have across the bottom or the top. Yeah, on product base, I mean, look at your competition that may be in your space that's sophisticated, like your website, maybe like where they're not just like really ugly websites or anything where they don't care or they don't know. But look at bigger brands in your space, and then just look at normal places where you shop on the internet and just see what they're doing, because those guys have spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars every month just on testing little things like Google itself. Like when they were changing the AdWords, the little ads, now they've changed colors. They changed the color to green at one point in time. They tested 30 shades in green to see which shade of green users would click on the most, because when you click Google ads, that's what supports 98% of a billion-dollar company, right? So so when you go to these bigger brands like Lids and Nordstrom's, they have sophisticated people that are testing, and if they say 20% off, we know that for them it works. Now it's just a matter of getting more traffic. My take is animation videos are probably a result of somebody not wanting to get on camera. And when you see bigger brands like Domino's Pizza, Sprint, T-Mobile, Papa John's, they're connecting with the story of those owners. They're all coming on camera now. So they went from the brand being the core to them being the core. Now they're going back to the brand, of course, too. But I think the easiest way based on budget is going to be you doing the video. If you have no budget, do the video on Zoom or loom.com, loom.com. Take is this: those little explainer animation videos are going to be like cute little marketing videos to get people interested and understand from a high level what that product is intended to do. Since seems like if you just built the app over the weekend, it seems like it's going to be either a hobby app or it's something you may want to build or grow later and you don't know what it is. So like I would actually just demonstrate it. So you're actually documenting, you're not creating. Documenting means like, hey, I'm going to walk you through this super cool app. I built this on a weekend. The reason why I built this is I had this problem of X and there wasn't anything in the App Store or the Google Play Store. So I decided to build it myself. Let me take you through my journey. Here, let me show you what it does and how cool it is. And you can just walk people through that. Just say your why on the front end and just like you'll practice storytelling over time. You'll get better. Like I said, like the advice I received was suck less every time you do a video, and that's really what it is. We're practicing a skill. Just like you're skillful in building apps, I can't build one, so I'm outside of my comfort zone. So I would need somebody like you. And if you can actually say like, hey, this guy's actually just walking me through, I see that he's super techie and he's not a salesperson, I actually like him even more, because I don't want a salesperson, I want a techie person building my apps. What was it that you do? Like break it down for me from a simple-minded perspective. So I have a device, I can squeeze it, and like 2 feet or 3 feet later, it has hands, right? So I can pick something up on the ground. Okay, right. And then when I pick it up, where does it go into a bag, or where does it go? When I'm using a vacuum, it goes into the container. This is like a manual pickup from when I'm walking. Okay. Got it. I would do a behind the scenes journey of how you got here. So when you're actually thinking maybe a year from now, when you're rich, I want you to remember who we are in this room right here, and you sell the company. Okay. But then you can have that journey video of how you got here. That can be your story when you're doing your marketing. So you can talk about like, hey, it's me laid up at night, and you just do some videos and you just store them in a little folder. You can talk about, here's my prototype. It's almost ready to go to market, but I'm not going to share it yet. When you guys see this video, it's going to be a whole different animal. And hopefully all you bloggers and any other use cases out there will see this. So you can start to get your content like chops going. But those are cool little behind the scenes of like I wish I probably did this, of like all the struggles that I had to get to where I wanted to be. So if I had videos that documented my journey, which I now do, I can now have this warehouse of content where I can tell a video editor saying, hey, just go through this stuff. It's named pretty well. Make me a fun story so people can actually see my journey. And when they see my journey, and I have a video editor do it at some point, it looks nicer because it looks produced with music and transitions, but it's because the stuff I do today, I can use a year from now. So that's kind of where I think like a behind the scenes, like about the journey. Me personally, if I was building a brand new product, I would be doing this live. I'd be documenting my journey live. Like, hey guys, this is day 3 of me building my product. I just want to show you some of the setbacks that I've had. It's gonna bust my budget up a little bit. I'm gonna try not to be later than my target launch date. But I just wanted to give you an idea of how these products get built, and I'm gonna be doing this journey with you guys live. In case you guys have any other inventors out there, like I know what you're going through, and hopefully I can give you guys some advice. See you guys tomorrow on video number 4. So I would actually make a journey of where I'm going. Obviously, if it's patented or you can't share some secret sauce, you can just give them video clip updates and setbacks. So I mean, people want to champion that story. That's just a way, like an idea. Because people always want people to succeed when they actually see that vulnerability of the journey. Comfortable, you know what I mean? Because like at some point when you're pitching this product to a shark on Shark Tank or wherever it is, you're gonna have to, like, the more comfortable you are when it's just you in front of just this without an audience even there, you're just gonna get that much better with your positioning statements. And when you actually have to sell the product to a shark-based investor that knows economics, right? So I think it'll just kind of like your story will already be repeated over and over to yourself, where they're going to be buying you mostly, and the product is just happens to be there too. So if you can have your product as like the core value, and then you're amazing too, they're gonna be like, holy shit, this is like a combination made in heaven. We have an entrepreneur that's awesome that we can use in the future, but then we also have the product is awesome too. So I like them both. So now you become even more sellable too at that stage when that's ready though. Because you're documenting and not creating, because something just happened in this instant in time. I do it all the time when I go live. I'll go live impromptu at like midnight sometimes, because sometimes I do a little bit later of calls because we deal with other countries. And I'll say, yeah, it's amazing to be able to work with people all over on the other side of the globe, in New Zealand and Australia and Romania and Croatia. And one of the guys that we're going to be working with that we just signed our contract with, here's what his challenge was, and here's how we were able to get past it. So through my story, I'm now telling people I can work in multiple time zones. Now I'm also telling people I can help them solve a problem of why we were able to work together. And then number 3 is, here's the problem he had that he came to us, where he couldn't find it locally, where he had to come to us, little old us. And so I'm documenting, I'm not selling, I'm just creating exactly what my day told me to do. So it makes it more natural and effortless, because it's something I have to say over and over. And if I can beat people to their own insecurities and their own objections and their own fears and their own doubts, then they're also going to believe in themselves that they can do it, right? Because a lot of people will say like, hey, I'll sign up for the gym next year. I'll do a New Year's resolution. It's like, well, what does January 1st have to do with anything? It's the way we fail. But if we want to actually sign up now, we're actually going to get fit today. Because if we want to be fit, we have to take the perspective of a fit person. So if we want to be something that's a higher power, we have to make those decisions that person makes. So when I'm doing my videos, that's part of what I do, is I teach people perspective, and I'm teaching them how to think. I use Facebook a lot because I'm so used to it. So I just, like, when I'm on Facebook, like I can just, like, on my phone, I can just go to the Facebook mobile app, and then I can just, like, here, like right here, I'm just it says what's on your mind, and I'm just touching what's on my mind. And then it'll say write something. So if I write, like, I'll just write at ha ha ha, and then below that I can add, like, right below that, there's like at the bottom of this list, there's like a camera looking icon. If I touch that, I'm actually live. So I can just go live on my personal Facebook profile where all my friends are. But I've decided to make the transition from, like, my friends are my friends that I've known since childhood. Like the people that I have like 4,000 some odd friends that I don't even know who they really are. We just, for some reason, we're connected, but I'm using that as my buying pool. So I made a decision to say, hey, I'm gonna use my profile for business, and then I'm gonna use my Facebook group for training the people who want to be in my group, who feel I can be their tribe leader. And if I can impact you to book a call with me and solve your problem and pay me money to make you a lot more money, then go for it. That's what we're doing. I'm educating you in my profile so you can like it, you can watch it, or whatever. And if I see a trend of problems, like, I can do a poll in my group or on my profile and saying, hey, when it comes to running X or running a business or investing into inventors, like, what bothers you the most? And you can say, they have too many creative ideas. They don't know their numbers. And now you're getting polls like, what is your audience telling you they hate the most? What are they most frustrated about? And then you can say, oh, the most people are frustrated because they don't know their numbers. The second problem is they're too creative and they have 17 ideas before they pitch the first one. I'm just thinking like Shark Tank people, what I see on TV. And then now you're getting market feedback, and now you know the videos to do because the market told you what they're frustrated about. So now I can say, don't you hate it when you're talking to another inventor and they talk about how many 18 ideas that didn't work and they have 17 more that don't, they don't focus on the core reason why they're there in the first place. And then now you can talk about how you're that inventor who focuses. Like I use a lot of the objections I get on sales calls. You're too expensive. Timing's not right. Like if I close another deal, then I can afford you. Like I'm using that as fuel because to me, that's a limiting belief. The if, because we've been telling that to ourselves for 10 years. You've been saying, if when this result happens, I can be successful. That doesn't make any sense. If I don't go to bed tonight, I can't buy from you. That's weird. That doesn't make sense. So it's like all these weird things come up in people's heads. So that's why I do content, and I don't make it salesy. I just make it a belief system pattern change. So I'm taking the frequently asked questions, using that as video content. I'm taking the objections, I'm making that video content. I'm taking my knowledge that I actually had a breakthrough, I'm making that content. So I'm not trying to make it so it's complex. I'm trying to make this effortless so I can just be me on camera. Because I'm trying to be Michael Jordan on camera. I don't know how to shoot a basketball properly. I can't make a 3-pointer. I'll probably airball it. So I'm trying to be something I'm not. But when I'm focused on just like my personal experiences, then it just makes it a lot easier. And one thing a lot of people don't talk about, which also is a champion of video, is failures. Like, because like if I talk about a failure video, like people only see the highlight reel. I want to also see the flip side of that coin. Because what I don't want an audience to really think about is that just because like somebody just heard of Gary Vaynerchuk and he does 60 videos in a day doesn't mean somebody brand new to video is going to do 60 in a day. We need to know that that dude has been he's a video all-star and overnight success because he put 10 years in to be an overnight success. So we also have to let people know that, hey, this is where I am. Like the reason I failed so many times, that's why I'm here. So I like people to know the flip side of when I screw things up a lot. So I'm actually sharing with that experience, just like when our parents tell us like, hey, don't do this. And we now know where the failure point is, but we might try it anyways, but then we're more self-aware. It's like, I remember somebody told me that, my parents, my mom, and now more self-aware not to do that again. So that's why I like to just kind of give all kind of repertoire of different types of content, but I use that content sheet to like knowledge dump. Like whenever I'm like stuck and I want to just knowledge dump, I just print a sheet of that. And then it says, try to jot down as much stuff in 15 seconds as possible. Half the time I can't fill the whole thing out, but the whole time positioning is so we actually stay focused with our computers off, a pen and paper, and we just write down things and we surprise ourselves. Sometimes we can fill 35 ideas out in 15 minutes. Sometimes we get 3, and guess what we do? We just go do those 3. We don't stress ourselves out and say, oh my God, I'm 32 shy. What am I going to do? When am I going to do this? Next month, next year? Never. Let me just do those 3, then move on. Try it again the next day. Maybe I'll get 4. Maybe I'll get 5. It's just forward momentum. The whole thing is just do something versus avoid something, because there's no right, there's no wrong. It's just the wrong thing is if you don't want exposure, just don't do it at all. Then you'll be a good secret.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming you have versions of your product, like prototypes, before you arrive to your current version. That's also part of your story as well, showing how what the iterations of your product have been. And people find that interesting typically also. I've seen lots of those types of videos on TikTok, explaining like the reasoning behind why you chose a 5-finger pickup over a 2 or whatever. You tried the 2 and this was the result. So I tried 4 and almost there, and now I have 5 or whatever. Like those little details, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rahul, when we spoke, we're going to challenge us all on this call to make our first video. Do you still want to do that?
Yeah. Who's down? Like one in the chat if you are down to do a video together.
Or it could even be going on mute. I mean, depending on people's level of comfort, putting yourself on mute and filming it yourself for however long Rahul tells us. And then you don't even necessarily need to share it, right, Rahul? You said you could just... Yeah,
like, so we can have cameras on would be the best, but if not, like if one in the chat, because like here, I'm going to give you guys the exercise and I'm going to let you guys do it as you want, but I want you guys to do it is what I want. All we're going to do is just a short little sentence. We're just going to hold the phone. And if we're on our phone right now, then we're just going to hold it and not record it, but we're going to practice. Okay. So we're going to do like, let's just go 30 seconds, right? We can all hold our breath for 30 seconds. I think we can talk for 30 seconds too, right? So all we're going to do is sing, like, I want you to do this. Let me make something simple. Why did you start your product? Why did you decide to start this product? I want you to talk about like what problem your mobile app solves for your target audience. Okay. So these are all videos that are all going to be usable, but also very common of what's going to grow your business. So once we do it, we're not going to use it. We're all going to delete them. But then we're going to practice what is going to actually be our very first video. Okay. So that's the old goal. Okay. Is that fair?
Helping us to rip a Band-Aid off is really the point of the exercise.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're going to do a video, said it a bunch of times now. It's only going to be 30 seconds. Okay. So I'm going to be the moderator here. We're all going to mute out. Kristen's included. We're going to see her doing her selfie video. Okay. And I'll be the timekeeper. I'm going to let it go. And if you screw up, that is what we want, because we want it authentic and natural. So if you stumble, you bite your tongue, you pronounce a word that you know very well wrong, keep going. Don't stop the filming. Just keep going through it, because then it's just, if we stop, then we get self-conscious. But if we keep going, we kind of course correct. Like right there, I just stuttered. So I course corrected my course correct. So it's okay to be natural and make language like screw ups. All right. So are we ready? The point being is, like, now we know we can do video, and now we know right on this live right here, everybody has the tools to do it, right? So we didn't have to go to a camera crew. We didn't have to leave our own homes. We didn't have to leave his garage. So the point being is how simple it can be and how fun it can be too when you allow it to be fun. But the most important part, like, if you want this to go, if you want people to know about you personally and also your products, that's how they're going to be able to trust you to buy from you. And it just makes it a lot easier when people already know who you are before they even met you. So like then as we go, we'll just start simple. The whole simple part is like, use that sheet that Kristen sent to everybody, and you can use that as a framework. And if you don't like rants, pick something else, like objections. If you don't like objections, pick FAQs. So this is not the law. These are just ideas. So you can use your own creativity to publicize anything you want. If you take your products and services, you can make videos on each individual product and service yourself. You can even make a video of you sharing your website and saying, hey, I'm so excited. I got these new arrivals. Here's what I'm excited the most. We have this amazing artisan designer. She's hailing all the way from Argentina, Buenos Aires. It's amazing. It's such a beautiful area. And now we're going to pull out the culture of Buenos Aires right into your own home. So I'm going to show you about it. Saying, like, I'm going to go to our website here, here, and here. This is the new product that we just launched. Let me show you the page. Now you're walking them through your website, but what you're also doing is you're exciting them about the product, but then you're teaching them how to buy it at the same time without even selling it. You know what I mean? Your excitement passes through to their excitement. But yeah, I mean, like, even right now we're doing a video, like half the videos I do, like, even though I have the fancy Sony equipment, all the fancy lights, all that stuff, honestly, I'm using this the most. I'm literally using my phone the most. And as far as like shaky hand, a lot of the times my camera's facing the wrong way, then I have to touch it after I gone live. So I just do things because I know that the content that I'm going to deliver is going to be really good. And then I'm going to also, I'll be given the mercy of making a mistake, right? They're gonna be like, whatever, that's typical him. He makes mistakes, but he has delivered like really good content when it comes to marketing. So I can be imperfect, but I'm also that way in general anyways. So I do things whenever I have something on my mind, I'm going to make a video. Like when my sales guys come back and saying, hey, I'm facing these objections, I'm now going to make a video. So before they even arise, I want the people who have those feelings to get an opportunity to watch that video. So then they don't have those objections. So if somebody says I'm too expensive, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a video on value. And I'm going to if I'm selling to a salesperson, I'm going to say, well, if you're a salesperson, you understand value already. But if the objections that you're facing are the ones you also give, then they're gonna be like, oh my God, that's powerful. Now a salesperson will be like, I can't say it's too expensive, because if I say it's too expensive, then everybody I face is gonna say it's too expensive. So I need to actually be the person I need to become. If I want to make $100,000 a month, I need to make $100,000 a month decisions. So I'll make videos around that. But I'm not gonna tell them what to do. I'm gonna make it as if I'm talking to an audience and just giving fatherly advice. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. I'm just going to tell them this is the way I think, and this is why I'm able to attract. And that's in that particular video. So I deal with a lot of different scenarios all the time. So as I get one, they tell me, I make a video, and I don't care where I am. I'm in the car, I'm getting coffee. I might say, hey guys, sorry, there's a lot of blenders going off. I asked Starbucks to shut down while I did this video, but they won't. And I'll start with humor, and then I'll go into the objection that I want. Or whatever that video, it doesn't have to be objections. It could be a how-to, a rant, or whatever. Yeah, and if I don't feel like doing it live, then I just record. If I feel like doing it live, then I can have a public audience live. Cool. All right, any last questions? I know we've been here for about an hour, so I appreciate you guys hanging in there the whole entire time. So there's so many different little ways, but I just use that little matrix as like a little, like a cheat sheet. So whenever I feel like I can't think of something, I have that to fall back on. But it also just keeps me like disciplined to just know that, hey, if I do more pieces of video, then I'll probably make more money, or I'll impact more people. If that's the goal, whatever the goal is, the more you do, like the more you can reach people and they can know who you are. That's really what we all want in the beginning. And now we have a free way to do it without even spending a dime on marketing dollars. It's just us with our phone we already pay for, and then our free Facebook account or Twitter or LinkedIn. We just post it there.
Thank you, Rahul, for walking us through making our first video. Appreciate that.
Yep, you're welcome.
I think that was a good exercise for everyone. And thank you for your time, and everyone, all of you, for being here this evening. And I look forward to hopefully welcoming you to future events.
Yep, you're welcome.